audience. LoveLine may contain sexually oriented content. Listener discretion is advised. 3, 2, 1, go! Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew. LoveLine, coast to coast.
Hey, everybody, LoveLine. I'm Adam Carolla. That's Dr. Drew. Dr. Drew, board-certified physician, addiction medicine specialist. No phone number tonight. Why, Drew?
Because we're somewhere else.
That's
I'm
right.
overseas.
Right. You know where I am?
Jacking off somewhere.
That's right.
How did I know that?
Possibly overseas. Probably on my sofa.
Oh, God.
Tonight.
Oh, quite an image.
David Arquette is in here on the first hour. Peekaboo Street, the great skier. Also, hour 2, we got Tony Hawk and Patrick Fugit from Almost Famous. Jeremy Piven and our good friends Everclear will be in here. So it's a full night of action.
Amazing. David Arquette, a planned visit by David Arquette.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Very rare planned visit. So let's get started with David Arquette. David Arquette is our guest tonight. Aaliyah?
Yeah.
You're 20?
Yeah.
What's up?
Me and my boyfriend have been dating for about 5 years. We have a daughter that just turned 3. And my sister, when she comes, we go and pick her out of town. She'll stay a couple nights, we'll drink, smoke a little weed. But my boyfriend and her have sex together.
Perfectly normal.
Your boyfriend and your sister have sex?
Yeah, I watch.
And the father of your child. Good times.
Yeah.
Where's the kid during all this?
Oh, my gosh, she's sleeping.
Oh, of course. She would have never understood.
All right.
Yeah. But, like, I watch him give her head, and me and her have given him head together.
Your sister.
Right.
You and your sister.
Did somebody
me and my sister have never messed around. We don't touch each other or anything.
Yeah, but hold on. Let me say this. The penis, like, you know how water conducts electricity?
Yes.
I mean, if you're in a tub and someone throws a space heater in it, it doesn't matter if the space heater touches you.
You get electrocuted.
That's the way. Same thing with the penis.
You throw in the room.
If you're licking on one side of a penis and someone else is licking on the other side of the penis, that means you two are making out. There's conductivity of the phallus.
Yeah, but it's more than making out.
I know, but I mean,
it's more than conductivity.
You and your sister would be better off making out than having a penis separate.
Forget it. You throw a penis into the room, and you guys are making out. You know what I'm saying?
If you're in the tub and someone throws a penis in the tub,
that's it. You're making out.
Oh my God. See, and she's calling from Florida, and I contend this is average behavior. No, this is considered modest behavior by Floridian standards. Aaliyah?
Yes.
Were the two of you, or either of you, sexually abused growing up, or did you have bad boundaries with your parents? Something?
No, my father was never even there, and actually, well, I guess you can kind of call it abuse, but me and my mom and my sister, I mean, we all smoked weed together, and we drank together, and my mom was like the neighborhood cool mom.
Yeah, how old were you when that all started?
The cool mom. Cool when you're 11, but
exactly.
As soon as you hit 18, you realize she's just a loser hag. Yeah.
About 12, 13.
12, 13. And would any of her loser friends come around and do weird stuff with you guys?
It only happened one time, but I mean, my mom called the police, had him arrested, and he was actually like a police athletic league guy.
And what happened?
I was sleeping on the couch, and I'm a very hard sleeper, and all I know is that I woke up, and my pants and my underwear were down around my knees, and I jumped up because I was like 14 or 15. I was really scared, and I went and told my mom, and he tried to act like he was sleeping, and he didn't want to get up off the couch, and I said, well, Mom, pull the blanket down, because I knew he was naked, and she pulled the blanket down, and he was naked, and she told me to lock the doors, and she called the cops.
Lock the doors.
Yeah.
So you couldn't escape.
Yeah, she didn't want him to try to leave.
Or he couldn't unlock the doors, I guess, yeah.
Well, no, my mom's boyfriend was standing in one door, and my mom was in front of the other. She's a pretty big woman, so I don't think he could have gotten through her.
Hold on. I'm getting quite an image of this mama.
Oh, yeah.
Part linebacker, part drug dealer, all cool. Yeah, picturing this woman blocking the door with like a joint hanging out of her mouth, wearing a pair of those stretch pants.
What's going on here? Damn it, Smitty! I can't believe you did this to my daughter.
I told you the second time you finger my daughter, you're out. Now I'm calling the police. Aaliyah?
Yeah.
This is a disaster. Did you really need to have a kid?
Oh, that's messed up.
Please. You got to be a horrible mother, possibly worse than your own.
Are you kidding me? That's terrible.
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah.
Well, you're carrying on with your sister. You can't you have a bizarre relationship with your boyfriend, who is the child's father.
We don't mess around with other couples. We're not swingers.
Look,
that would be a great step up if you fooled around with strangers.
No.
Hold on a second. I can't get over this. It's like, it's not like we swing. It's not like we invite other couples.
We just have sex with family members.
I just blow them with my sister.
Yeah.
What the?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, baby.
You got some problems, Leah. You don't perceive normal boundaries.
Yeah. You need boundaries.
I have a question.
Yeah.
It's mainly to Dr. Drew because I guess he deals with like the psychological or whatever.
Well, go ahead.
I was wondering, is there anything wrong with me not getting jealous or not having a problem with?
There's something wrong with you in that you're engaged in this entire situation.
Really?
And you don't seem to perceive the emotional impact and the violation of normal boundaries, and the necessary impact it would have on your child that you carry on this kind of relationship.
Well, it's not like it's going to last forever.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter how long it goes on. Your kid has a mom who thought this was a good idea one time.
This is who you are now.
No, not that it was a good idea. If I heard it coming from somebody else, I'd be like, whoa.
Then why do you allow it to go on?
It happened.
Then why do you allow it to go on?
It hasn't happened recently.
Okay, baby. All right. Hey, listen, I want to guess your husband's profession. I'm guessing it has something to do with tar or asphalt.
He's a mechanic.
Oh, he works around metal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always the kiss of death, working around metal. What kind? Diesel mechanic?
No, car.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, listen, do not get pregnant again.
I'm on the shot, so.
Please.
Good.
Please, double down on that shot.
Okay.
And you come from a crazy environment where there wasn't too many boundaries. It's time to stop that.
What's the boundary?
Well, no
there
kidding.
You go.
Right.
I think she is asking.
Yeah, where there are sort of perceptions of what the limits of self and reasonable behaviors are.
I can't get over this. You and your sister perform fellatio on this guy?
Not at the same time.
I thought you said you did it at the same time.
We switch. Like, we don't go both down there and go licking them everywhere. Like, she'll give them...
She'll give it to him, then you do,
exactly.
Right? Okay.
Exactly. It's not like we're down there kissing each other's tongues and...
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I thought that's different. I didn't know you guys were tagging out before the next one went in. Jesus Christ. I wouldn't share a teacup with my sister. I'd have to throw it in the fireplace. Seriously, if she hands me a cup, I throw it in the fireplace.
I don't doubt it.
That's what I do. Holy Christ. I still contend this is average Florida behavior.
Now, David had an interesting story growing up about boundaries and stuff. You were raised in sort of a commune-type setting?
Yeah.
Originally? And it was some Maharishi's concept you guys were following?
Yeah, there's this Indonesian guy. It was sort of just a spiritual philosophy.
What was his name?
His name was Bapak.
Uh-huh.
Where was it?
It was, I was born in Virginia on this commune called Skymont.
You were born on the commune?
Yeah.
Wait, what year was that?
71.
But that was... You got screwed. 71 was just the height of the crap era. No one had a good idea in 71. Every car was bad. All the architecture was bad.
All that stuff is great.
No, it's all horrible.
No,
it's all a mess.
Best.
The music's pretty good, but all the ideas are horrible.
I've been tainted because I love big collars and platform shoes.
Just look at the architecture. Just think of the architecture.
I love the architecture. Are you kidding?
What architecture?
Oh,
Flat
man.
roofs with white rocks on them and aluminum windows?
No, it's the beginning of modernism as we know it. I mean, it was just
I'm just saying, if you were born in 81, your parents wouldn't have been on that commune.
No, probably not. No, because the guy actually, he showed up one day. They said, please come from Indonesia and see what we've built here. And he comes, he's like, well, this is not what this philosophy is about. You're supposed to, become closer to God and
work.
Bring your spirituality out into the world. Yeah, if you're an actor, go where actors are. And if you're
go work.
Really?
Yeah. And nobody wanted to work in that commune.
Well, I don't know what the hell they were doing. That was
But isn't that Islamic movement in Indonesia?
It was Islamic, Buddhist, and and Hindu.
So you got the guy finally to come out to the United States to see what you were doing, and he didn't like it.
No.
And did he break it up? Did it break up immediately?
It broke up.
did he like walk in, look around, and go, what the hell's going on here?
Exactly.
Oh,
he said, "What are you doing?" And everyone moved.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
but the boundaries were really screwed too.
Kids were just running around wild.
Yeah. And like, I mean, the philosophy of the spirituality and the whole thing is a good philosophy, but it also attracts a lot of people in crisis. So there's all these sort of wackos around too.
Yeah. I grew up in a free-range environment myself. A lot of went to an alternative school.
Me too.
Called the teachers by the first names, Chuck Dirt Clods.
I did too.
Just walk around. You really, it's like Lord of the Flies. You don't learn anything. It's like
Which one did you go to?
Oh man, I went to a bunch of them.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, it's crazy. The whole thing was
in '81. You wouldn't have been going to any of those either.
No, I wouldn't have. Yeah. No, this was 71. I mean, it's the same kind of thing. It was. If a child wants to learn, he'll learn. If he doesn't want to learn, that's his prerogative. You can't foist your words on him. You go up to him and ask him what he feels like doing. And of course, I said I felt like wrestling and throwing dirt clods. I was 7. I didn't feel like sitting down and learning vowels and consonants and all that.
God.
And consequently, I never learned any of that stuff. And they always threatened to throw you into public school, and I thought public school was like Auschwitz or something. They were like,
well, the way you describe it, ultimately, you did live that kind of life in public school, didn't you?
Well, public school, I got to public school, it was like a lot of blacktop, chain link, and the whole essence of public school to me was hitting another kid with a ball. That's basically what every game could be distilled down to. Who could get hit with a utility ball? That wouldn't have flown at the free-range school because you don't, violence, competitiveness. No, man. Hang out and fire up the potter's wheel, see what you can do. I guess it worked, though.
Just throw the clay, literally.
Yeah. Judy?
Yep.
So you're 15, you're a virgin.
Mm-hmm.
You want to know if it's a good idea to date a guy who's not a virgin.
Well, yeah, that, and then also, I have standards for myself and whatnot, and I was wondering if it would do any good if, to tell him, or if I would just be completely wasting my time.
To tell this guy that you're not going to have sex with him?
Yeah.
Are you already dating him?
Yeah.
How old is the guy?
17.
17.
And I don't understand. I don't understand what you're asking.
Well, she wants to know, should she be upfront with the guy and tell him, look, you're not getting laid?
To see if he really sticks around, or what would your
Well,
logic?
I want to know if I'm wasting my time. I want to know if he's in it for having
I see. So you want to test the relationship.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is a thought that women have that guys don't have.
Yeah.
I don't want to waste my time.
Yeah.
What? First off, what are you chicks doing that's so important, by the way, besides just hanging out?
Well,
I never see you doing anything. What time do you have?
That's their biological clock ticking away at them.
I know,
you never
but
know.
you're worried about, we talk about this all the time. Women will go, break up with the guy, he's abusive, you're going off to college, he's staying back home. It's not worth it. They go, I can't, then I would have wasted the last 4 years of my life. It's like, no, not wasted. You understand? It's like a bad job. You don't say, I'm not going to quit because I would have wasted the last 4 years of my life. You can't get out of that job fast enough.
Yeah, or you look at whatever part of it you did enjoy or did whatever for you, and then you on to something better.
Judy, you're 15.
Yeah.
Don't think so hard about this. If you like the guy, if he's a good guy, if you're attracted to him,
but
you date him.
Be careful.
And you don't let him boink you. That's all.
Yeah, and just don't get yourself in situations where he might try to overpower you or where you're alone, that kind of thing. Just be careful.
Let him know you're a virgin, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But I agree with Drew. Don't let him try any magic tricks on you, like where he duct tapes your mouth shut, your feet together, and blindfolds you and stuff, and puts you in a trunk with one hole in it.
Yeah.
All right?
Okay. All right, thank you.
All right there, Judy. Hey, good times. And when are you going to lose your virginity?
I have no idea.
All right, but you're not waiting till you get married?
I'm going to try really hard.
Good.
Okay, what about oral sex?
I don't know.
Okay, play it by mouth?
Yeah.
All right, then.
For now.
All right.
Yeah.
Good times.
15.
Okay.
All right,
Thank you.
good times. Take care of yourself. I give her the 15 and a half. outside.
No.
That should be fine.
17, 18.
She's got standards. That's what I hated. That's the number one.
Got boundaries.
That's number one. Number one thing I hated in a woman was standards in high school. Michelle or Michael?
Because then they wouldn't date you.
Yes.
Yeah, I couldn't date. No one wanted to date me ever. Michael, you're 18?
Yes.
What's up?
Well, it's like you guys keep getting calls from like teenagers that like they've had like anal sex for the past 7 years and stuff, and I was just wondering,
like that last caller.
Yeah, the virgin we just talked to.
She was out of control.
Yeah. I was just wondering because I'm trying to practice abstinence. And
You're
like,
gay.
Drew, please. I'm sorry.
And it just seems like it's kind of hard doing it when like a lot of other teenagers are just like letting it happen, I guess. And
Right.
Well, are they really? A lot of them?
well, I mean,
7 years of anal sex. You heard him.
yeah. Well, it just seems like nobody really takes priorities or
Nobody?
really takes it serious.
Oh, Drew, would you shut up? Stop busting the guy's
No, I
chops.
mean, I wonder what the social norm is for other 18-year-olds or 17-year-olds.
Well, here's the way. I believe it's the same as it always was. In high school, or at least in my high school, there was like 8 guys who were getting laid constantly, and then there was the other 1,200 of us who were just home crying, beating off every night. Do you know what I mean? There's the guys who got it and the guys that don't. It's like there's one quarterback on the varsity football team, and then there's the rest of the guys.
Mm-hmm.
Which, yeah, that poses another problem because I don't masturbate.
No. Now, why not?
Well, I mean, my dad kind of left me like when I was 7, and I kind of got back with him when I was like 16.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of lost that, I guess, role model. So I never really learned how to do it. So I just don't do it.
Well, you think guys...
Hold on a second. Drew, David, you remember when your dad sat down with a tub of Jergens and a roll of paper towels and taught you how to beat off?
Yeah, that was...
Yeah, I was 13.
Wait a moment.
Thank God I got a picture. Stuff on the mantle. He's passed away, but I tell you, I keep that picture in my wallet.
Come here, son.
Think how it is these days, too. The video, minicams, handycams.
Son, now this is my jack bib. Your grandfather strewn it across his chest, and his grandfather brought it to World War I, put it across his chest, and now I'm passing it on to you. Now, what you'll want to do is, well, back in the day, we used to use lard or goose fat.
Hey, Smitty, come over here. Show my son how to stroke it. Jesus.
Now, not so fast, son. It's not a race. That's right. Hold on. Move aside. Let Daddy slide in. There you go. Just till you get the rhythm. Nice and easy. You got that? All right, carry on. All right, now you'll be doing that about 8 times a week for the rest of your life. All right, let's, Michael?
Yeah.
Sorry about that. I never even talked to my dad about anything from the age of 13 on. And if I heard him coming up the hall while I was beating off, I wrapped myself like in a cocoon with my comfort and pretended I was dead. Not sleeping, dead. I was just going to put fake blood on my forehead and knocked over the lamp. Because they knew if I was sleeping, I still could have been beaten off. But if I was dead, he couldn't catch me. All right, this is no excuse. What's going on with you? Are you religious?
Yes.
All right. Well, sex.
Were you taught not to masturbate?
Not that I know of.
No one mentioned this to you.
All right.
Do you have sexual urges?
Yes.
Do you have erections normally, like when you wake up in the morning, that sort of thing?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you have wet dreams?
I try not to.
I know, but you have no choice, right?
Right.
Yeah, if
that's God giving you a handy, by the way.
Yeah, if God meant it not to happen, it wouldn't be happening. The biology requires it.
What about this? God's whole problem with you beating off is you're wasting your seed, right?
Yep.
Well, then why would God build in a mechanism where you waste your seed onto your mattress or comforter in the middle of the night without your hands? Doesn't seem like it's a good plan. Like God had had a flawed plan in terms of the human anatomy. You know what I'm saying, Michael?
Yep.
Okay, buddy. All right, good times. Good times. I don't know what his question was.
Michael, get yourself a can of lighter fluid and a road flare. And then you sit down and you pour the lighter fluid all over your genitalia.
You understand, Michael?
Yep.
No, don't do that. Look, if you don't want to have sex, don't have sex. And you don't want to beat off, don't beat off. We don't care. And do whatever you want. That's fine. And don't worry about what everyone else is doing. And
is it wrong that I think he should
light himself on fire?
No, sir. No.
Masturbate.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Let me say a few choice words about Michael. Michael is smart because Michael wasn't going to get laid anyway. Do you know what I'm saying?
So you can blame it on this.
God damn, I wish I had something to blame it on through high school. Yeah. There's nothing worse than wanting to get laid, making it known that you want to get laid, and not getting laid. You don't come across that good. But Michael has a very convenient excuse. I could tell by Michael's voice he wasn't going to get a lick of trim anyway through high school. And at least now he's got God on his side. But now's the problem, and this is the problem with religion. All right, Michael, you don't want to get laid, you don't want to beat off. Fine, that's accordance with your religion. But now you got to start looking for others and seeing what they're doing, and that's the problem. See, he wants to know what's going on with everyone else. Just leave it alone. Hey, you don't want to get laid? You don't want to beat off? Fine. I'll see you up on the bell tower shooting at the kids in a few years. But leave everyone else alone. It's their business. We'll take ourselves a little break, and we'll be right back.
LoveLine.
1-800-LOVE-191.
We'll be right back. LoveLine is brought to you by Trojan, America's #1 condom, the most trusted for over 80 years.
Yep, LoveLine, everybody. I'm Adam. That's Drew. Phone number 1-800-LOVE-191. Peekaboo Street is our guest tonight. Nothing to Hide is the name of her book.
Here is Jeff. He's in his 40s. Jeff, what's going on?
Hey, Dr. Pinsky, Adam.
Hey, Jeff.
My daughter had an acquaintance of hers commit suicide tonight.
So, a boyfriend, girlfriend?
No, just an acquaintance.
Friend of a friend? Do you know the person?
I've never met him, and she went to school with him. She's kind of broken up by it. I've never met the guy, and I'm broken up by it. So, if anybody else...
How old is your daughter, and how old was the guy?
17, seniors in high school.
Okay. So this is one of her classmates.
Right.
Okay. Well, one of the things that happens to folks around 16, 17 when someone is injured or killed is it sort of bursts their defensive bubble. In other words, at that age, people really don't feel like they're biological. They feel invincible. People that age aren't supposed to die, and it really threatens them and challenges their sense of reality when they are unfortunately around this kind of thing. So it's forget, not to mention the fact that obviously it's a huge loss and it's very disturbing. It becomes very unpleasant, even if it's someone she really didn't even know. It sort of challenges her whole sense of her own safety and mortality.
Well, the two questions I had, well, one question was, what can I do to help her out through this? But the other one was, if anybody's even thinking about this, there's a lot of people that are going to be affected by it that you don't even know.
Well, and believe me, when kids are thinking this way, oftentimes they want to affect a lot of people. In fact, they have kind of a grandiose magicality to their thinking where they sort of imagine that they're going to be around to see all the drama that they're going to create.
That's totally what it is. I had a friend in seniors in high school, and he took his life. And when we all got to sitting around talking about it, we all put our little stories together, and he had pretty much told 3 or 4 people that he wanted to do this, and that he wanted to shoot himself and see how many people showed up at his funeral.
Yeah, because the fantasy is, I'm going to be there to see this.
Yeah.
And they
it seems to be a little catch-22 to that logic.
Yeah, but their omnipotence,
But
again, that's why his daughter's reacting so profoundly, that their omnipotence is such that they can't imagine not being around to see the consequences of their actions.
Well, what can I do to help my daughter through this?
Well, is she around right now? Can we talk to her?
No, she's not here right now.
Why don't you just ask her what you can do for her?
Okay.
That's more than anything, I think, what's helpful, just being available, being present, and you not to be broken apart about this. It's time for you to be the parent and be just available and share. Let her have her feelings in your presence, and you just attune to her.
But
speaking of being the parent, where is she?
She's at her mom's.
Oh, okay. Well, is her mom good with this kind of thing?
I hope so.
Well,
Well,
I'm
you are
sure
her dad.
Yeah.
I mean, this is, you're her dad, and this is a heavy time. So I don't know what's up with you and your, seems like ex, but you guys, your daughter's more important than your guys' baggage. So, if you're concerned about her and you're not sure that you're where she is the best place for her, you have the right. But from what I've learned, Jeff, talk about it. Encourage her to talk about it. The more she talks about it, the easier it'll be to get through and understand.
Not because you need to help her, but you just need to be available in case she needs you. To what extent she can use your availability?
Well, if nothing else, to let the people out there know that, if you do something like this, it's going to affect a lot more people than you would ever think.
Again, Jeff, that sometimes motivates people to do stuff like this. You got to be careful. That's sort of what they're looking for. And
it's hard to fathom what they're going through, Jeff, because they're living in a different mental world.
And it's an aggressive act sometimes, and intends to hurt other people, and sometimes just a grandiose act to get some drama going on their own behalf. But it's not right.
Is Jeff's everything going okay in your life?
Yeah.
So just be available then.
Jeff, Adam had a question for you. Go ahead. Adam.
How's your life going?
I'm doing fine.
All right. Did you sound a little depressed? I mean, over more than recent events.
No.
You're okay?
I'm doing fine until tonight.
Okay.
All right. Just seems interesting that
something
more.
Jeff's, the beauty of this show, people call up with really tragic news, and then we sort of poke holes in their psyche. But Jeff, there was something that was mildly disturbing about Jeff, which was he was sort of making it about him and the other people.
Did you hear how many times I told him it's not about you? You're be available for your daughter, because I could tell it was all about him.
Yeah, I mean,
what if like she announced this to him, Dad, I gotta go. My friend just committed suicide, and I'm out of here, and rolls, and that's all. Maybe that's all he got.
Then it would be, I'm so worried about my daughter. It'd be all about the daughter, not about this kid's breaking me up.
Yeah, I hear you.
This kid, he doesn't know this kid.
I hear you.
And yes, it seemed like he'd never met the kid.
No, he's never met him.
I mean, I understand his message, which is a good one, which is don't commit suicide. But unfortunately, this is something that goes on every day in this country.
Especially young males, especially homosexual young males. Interesting. That is the highest incidence of completed suicide.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
No way out.
And how do they kill themselves?
Usually with guns.
Mm-hmm.
They use means that are
they're not messing around.
The girls tend to take pills, and the guys use violence.
Yeah. See, I'm a chick. I'd go with the pills.
You're always sort of slowly trying to kill yourself, I guess, then, aren't you?
Yeah. Well, here's the move I would do. I would do one of these things where I took like 70 Valiums and washed it down with a pint of Jack, and then about an hour and a half into this haze, when I was knocking over furniture in my room, I would decide that I needed to live. So I would knock the phone off the hook and just mumble some inaudible thing into the 911 operator. Wait, it is 911, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, not the information. But see, that's how screwed up I would be. I wouldn't be sure. I'd probably call information first. And then I'd decide that I'd want to live, except for I'd just crap all over myself.
What a sight.
And I'd get no sympathy from my friends. It'd be completely humiliating.
Oh, no, but you'd be on your own.
Are you kidding? They'd be laughing about your ass for 45 years.
Yeah, we'd be
That's right.
Oh, you got great friends, Adam. Brandon's 22.
Yeah, I was calling to see if Bell's palsy herpes was contagious.
Well, I think you look confused, Brandon. You really 22?
Yeah, I am.
All right. turn the radio down, please, all right? Ready?
What's Bell's palsy's herpes?
Well, Bell's palsy is a seventh nerve paralysis. It's the nerve that comes out basically where your parotid gland is here and supplies motor to your face. And there's one on one side and one on the other. And what's thought to happen is that nerve can get a virus in it. It swells up, and it's because it's coming out of a tiny little hole from your skull, it cuts its blood supply off, and the whole thing dies. And so half your face will be completely paralyzed, and then the nerve slowly grows back. It takes about quarter inch per month, and it grows back over many, many months. And usually this resolves. Susan had this during the last part of her pregnancy. She had a Bell's palsy. That's different. That's probably from volume overload because she had triplets inside, and the blood supply actually swelled to the point that it cut its own supply off coming through this foramen in the skull.
Wow.
Was she unable to yell at you for that short period?
No, of course not. She had no problem with that. But Brandon, one of the potential viral causes of this is a herpes-type virus, not herpes simplex.
But it's not.
Look. Well, we don't know about the contagiousness or how it's transmitted, but chickenpox is a herpes virus, okay?
Okay.
So this is just another one of the herpes viruses that probably one of the causes of Bell's palsy. All right?
Because the whole left side of my face doesn't work.
Oh, you have it. You have the Bell's palsy.
Yeah.
Well, actually, the virus was probably quite some time ago. The Bell's palsy follows it later.
Oh, it does?
Yeah, and that's why they give you you on prednisone now?
Yeah, and steroids.
Yeah, prednisone is a steroid. And the reason they do that is to try to decrease that inflammation of the nerve to try to preserve whatever function is left.
Okay.
So how does it work? Do you look weird when you talk?
Kind of like I can't close my left eye all the way.
I was going to say, the one thing you got to watch, you got to tape that eye shut at night, okay?
Yeah, that's what they told me too.
That's the one really serious complication you can get is your cornea can dry out and you can get really serious problems from that.
Yeah,
really?
Kind of
you tape it shut, huh?
Yeah, you got to tape it shut at night.
What kind of tape do you use? Medical tape?
Yeah. How long?
How long have you had it?
About 2 weeks now. I was at the bar and my face just like stopped working. I was like, oh crap! I thought I drank some bad beer or something.
It's pretty unpleasant, and it looks weird as hell too. People freak out, and people think they're having a stroke typically.
Yeah, that's why I thought too. I was like, oh great, I had a stroke. I'm too young to have a stroke.
Sometimes there's some pain with this too. Do you get any pain in your face or head?
The back of my neck hurt and the inside of my ear.
Yeah, that's it. That's where that nerve goes.
I'm intrigued by a disease where I get to tape my eyelid shut, though.
Well, just one eyelid, just the one on the side where the eyelid's not working.
Ah, but it's great. You look like Burgess Meredith from Rocky. Or a pirate or something.
You can never close your eyelid all the way. The part that lifts the eyelid works, but the one that brings it all the way down doesn't work. Because the lifting of the eyelid is a different nerve. It's a third nerve. This is the
Now, Drew, wouldn't I be okay using my big lovey face mask I sleep with every night?
Probably not. Probably not. He sleeps with those big pads with the fur around the outside.
Oh, come on, really?
Listen, I have to fly with this mother effer with that thing on.
Oh, boy.
With him, with Bloody Marys and big... and I can see you now with little moose dung rings on with the lovey patches. It would be quite a sight.
Oh, let me tell you something about my first-class experience on the way out to Tampa,
here we go.
everybody.
It is actually becoming, even to me, offensive at the way you complain about a first-class airline.
Let me tell you, they never...
Let me just ask this one question. Did the pilot have to come out and yell at you again?
No, the pilot came out and separated the smoked almonds from my Fiesta packet for me. It was sort of on a bet.
Fair enough, that was Southwest, wasn't it?
No, that was
really?
Another airline.
You got someone else to be bad?
Pilot.
I can't believe it.
Pilot came out and did this for me.
I thought I was special because they let me, say hi and stuff. But wow, they come separate your nuts for you, Adam?
Yeah. You can do it too if you like.
She's not.
No, thanks.
No, here's what they did in first class. And I know everyone is going to hate me even more than they already do when I talk about this. But here's the thing about first class. You pay a whole bunch of extra money, and you want to be treated differently. And they left that curtain wide open, and everyone was using the first class head. Now, Drew, have you ever seen this in first class?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Don't they usually kick people out when they stray into first class territory?
I was on a flight 2 nights ago where they made a point of saying, look, we're going to leave the curtains open, but don't think that means you can go use the bathrooms. We're going to try to keep the cabin separated. It's all fair. They sold it very nicely, actually.
Well, I like the curtain closed, thank you very much. But if you're going to leave it open, you got to have somebody policing it a little. The entire 217 people in coach used the first class head.
Yeah.
And they were it was a small first class, and there's only 2 seats on each side, and it was like one person went through about 20 minutes into the flight, and I think the rest of the plane sort of caught on to it. And let's face it, on a 5-hour flight, everyone hits the head once. And everybody hit the first class head.
You know what
and
this
they
is?
just were just going right back and forth. And at a certain point, I had to go, but there was a long line, and they never said anything.
Oh, no, what did you do? What did you do?
No, I did not. I did not do anything. But I wanted to just stand up and yell at the steward. I say, will you kick these a-holes out of my first class? Or kick back some money?
Did you do that?
No.
Adam, just say, can't they, charge you for letting that person come into this cabin?
That's what I'm saying.
They can.
Right.
They realistically can. And I know for sure on United, if someone, like my friend Darren Rolfs, a teammate of mine, wanted to come talk to me on the way home, and I was in the last seat, and he was in the first in business, and we were hanging by the curtain talking, I was in my seat, she was like, you need to go sit down. And wouldn't let him even stand there and talk to me like that.
Whatever.
She said, they could charge me $2,000. I was like, wow.
Well, I would here's my policy, if and you're going to use the first class head and you're not in first class on my flight. $8 for number 1, $12 for number 2. Because I need to start being reimbursed. That's what I'm saying. If your ticket was $300 and my ticket was $2,000, I'm going to need to make up some of that while you're in my head.
How about the people who take up a little bit of your space in your seat as well as all of their space in their seat? How do you think about those people, Adam?
I'm not fond of anybody being next to me, ever.
You're not fond of anybody, period.
Even when I'm being intimate. Thank you, Drew. All right, let's talk to somebody.
I'm not going to ask.
This is Ron, who's 19.
Hey, my ball sweat smells like semen. Put it bluntly.
Mm-hmm. Who's semen?
Well, actually, I have never smelled anyone else's semen.
What does semen smell like?
I don't know. It's sort of like a mix
Clorox, bleach.
Yeah.
Bleach and...
Drew, don't play stupid.
Maybe I have no sense of smell. I don't know what he's talking about. Really, when he says that, I don't know.
Yeah, it smells kind of bleachy.
I was calling sort of because I thought that Drew might be able to help me on this more because he's sort of the doctor. And
no, this is bogus.
Yeah, it's bogus.
It's not bogus.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not. No, okay, you want to hear what happens? I go in the bathroom, I pull down my pants, I smell, and it smells nasty.
Well, that's an area that can get some funk going because of...
But like, it's just, I've tried powders, I've tried, like, deodorant, I've tried everything, and it's just not working.
Try some antibacterial scrubs, because bacteria can make the funky smells. And, like, Physohex, something like that, use that in the shower and see if it doesn't clear up and keep things super...
Wait, what kind of antibacterial?
Physohex.
What's that?
Physohex. P-H-I, Physohex. And keep things super, super dry. Like, you may even dry yourself off with, like, a handheld hairdryer before you put your underwear on, that kind of thing.
Well, listen, here's the deal. Everyone's nutsack smells. What do you care?
That's the title of your new book, isn't it?
Yeah, my children's book.
Oh, my goodness.
Everyone's nutsack smells.
Get over it.
Let me tell you, speaking of
Peekaboo Street, everybody. Peekaboo Street is our guest tonight. Nothing to Hide is the name of the book. Adam's book, Everyone's Nutsack Smells.
I was going to say to him, I have witnessed diet change odor.
Of semen.
Oh, really?
Not of semen. Now, not of semen. Of just kind of body odor kind of thing. Because
I'm sure that's true.
There's some girls that I raced with from Europe that you go in the bathroom after them and it just smells different.
Yeah.
So
good.
We've broken it down to the food. It
smells good when you go in there.
No, it does not smell good.
Adam can change his smells. I've borne witness to that. I swear to God. Knocked me over with asparagus.
I have my asparagus wee. Oh. I have my multivitamin whiz.
No, the asparagus pea, I almost fainted. Really?
I have my cashew chicken whiz. You haven't experienced that one yet. I'm still working on it.
Asparagus so thoroughly impressed me, I thought that was enough. This is Brian, who's 22.
Hello. I wanted to expand on the imposter thing. It's also really cool when you've got one bewildered person with a gun, like, looking between the two. And
yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Brian.
That's a good one. Good one.
Nice, Brian.
Nice, Brian.
All right. I'm worried because...
No, it's shoot him. Shoot him. He's the imposter.
No, shoot him, and then they get to a fight, and they don't know which one, and they're switching back and forth.
And it's best, too, when it's a beautiful woman, and he's in love with one of them.
Yes.
And he's saying shoot her.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good one.
Good times. All right.
You know the other TV thing? Hold on. I was just thinking about the beautiful woman. Mm-hmm. How a beautiful woman can seduce a guy even if he's, like, about to shoot somebody. Like, how a beautiful... As long as that saxophone kicks in... and she walks up, and there's a guy, and he's about to pull the trigger on the girl's secret agent boyfriend, and she comes up and goes, oh, look at those big arms. And he's like, yes, I work out. Oh, it's clear that you do. I mean, I understand wanting to have sex with a beautiful woman, but wouldn't you be just a little bit suspect because of the timing? I mean, do you actually have to drop the gun and start feeling her up at that particular moment? It's a little too easy.
You gotta take it.
All right. What's the question, Brian?
I think I might have made fun of a gay employee, but I didn't know he was gay at the time. But I mean, not made fun of him, but my other coworker and we were sitting there watching television. I have a midnight job, so it's pretty easy. And at one point we kind of started razzing each other, and I was like, "Oh, you homo," And it was like we just tossed it back and forth, and it just got really bad. And he's sitting there, and then a couple weeks later, I was sitting there, and Len had all these IMs popping up on his computer screen, and I was like, "Why do you have all these IMs?" And he's like, "I put a personal ad in," and I'm like, "Me too," but I didn't get any responses like that. He's like, I put him in on Outworld.com and da-da-da, and, it was like, I don't know, I blushed red. I was like, oh, my God, I hope he doesn't, I hope he didn't take offense.
You're gay.
But the thing is, since then, he's really well-liked in the circle of people that I work around, and I think he might have said something, because a couple of people are starting to look at me, badly, or maybe it's paranoia, I don't know.
I think it's paranoia.
Why don't you talk to him?
Just talk about it.
Well, I did talk to him, and I was like, Len, I'm sorry, I just said it. I was like, Bob, I'm sorry that, I didn't mean to make fun of you being a homosexual, and he was like, my butthole is as big as a mason jar.
Oh, I knew something was coming here.
That was good. You know why?
What?
Because he did that thing where he slid the name in.
Yeah, and then
corrected himself.
Yeah.
No, but he slid it in once even before
that.
And didn't correct himself.
Hey, Adam.
That was solid.
When you used to shut Drew's mic off, I thought that was so hilarious, and you've stopped doing that.
All right. We got to get back
would you like
into
me to do it?
Could you do it anymore, please?
It's off now.
We did it.
That rule.
All right, Brian. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna start getting into that. Anderson, make a note. Sunday night is cold mic night for Drew.
Thank you very much.
I'll tell you what. We'll turn it on for 8 minutes in the first hour and 6 minutes in the second hour. We're gonna take a quick break.
LoveLine will be right back. So get your problems ready.
Hi everybody, this is Art from Everclear, and you're listening to LoveLine with Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew.
Art Alexakis is our guest tonight. Art is from Everclear, of course. Go to the website, which is
everclearonline.com. We couldn't have everclear.com because a plumber took it and he wouldn't give it back.
Well, did he want to sell it to you?
Nope.
Oh, he just didn't want to get rid of it.
Nope.
Really?
Yep.
I mean, he didn't do it to sell it back to you later?
Nope.
You know what you should have done if you're really smart? He would have let all the traffic that you get just have his stuff piggyback on yours.
Really? Is your Everclear fan?
Yeah.
Let this guy come
and you need some plumbing.
Root out your toilet, whatever.
Oh, was Everclear the name of his plumbing business?
No.
Well, what was it then?
I don't know. He wasn't even a fan. He just thought...
How dare he?
Well, no, it's not even that. I don't care if he's a fan.
The pipes are Everclear.
It just doesn't
keeps the
make
lines
sense.
Everclear. Yeah.
Okay.
he couldn't articulate that like that. We were after this guy forever.
Really?
Yeah.
People drive me crazy. One of the most despicable human qualities is when you go, hey, listen, you have a good reason, you need somebody to change or move or change their parking place or move their chair, and they go, just no. Why? Just because you asked, it's no.
Right, because I can say no.
Yeah.
And then what
these are people who have no empowerment in their life,
right?
And this is what empowers them, to be able to spit in the wind and just say no to the big guy, and that's fine.
Not even a big guy. It's like if you wanted this guy to move his chair out of the way so you could wheel your grandmother past, you know what I mean? In a wheelchair, it'd be no.
I mean, Drew and I were.
That's when I start swinging.
Where was this?
We're on a plane.
Oh, this was a good one.
We're flying back from some college gig, and the plane was pretty much full. I was sitting alone, 10 rows back of Drew. Drew was sitting alone 10 rows back of me, and I was sitting next to a guy it was just 2 seats, and I said to the guy before the plane took off, excuse me, sir, my partner sitting about 10 rows back, could you switch seats with him? Would that be okay? And he said, no. And I had 2 thoughts. First one is I didn't even know if he understood the question.
It was before no way he could have processed. It was no so quick.
Yeah, I thought he said, can I perform dry anal rape on you or something? So I said, no, he's sitting alone in the back, and if you guys just swap seats, then you can just sit alone. And he said, no. And my impression was, so you're going to sit next to me, who's pissed off at you, the entire flight.
As opposed to getting open seats in the back that are better.
Right.
So that lots of room.
That was no for the sake of no.
Remember that? And he wouldn't look at you. Remember, as soon as you looked up, he was like, no.
Right.
Do you want to hear a better one?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm flying to Hawaii with my daughter to meet up with my wife. Flying to Hawaii after last summer. Okay. We have first class tickets. Supposedly, our travel agent. Now we bought these. My travel agent was supposed to get us to sit together. Of course. I've got an 8-year-old girl at the time, right? I get in there, and our seats aren't together. They're like 3 rows apart.
Mm-hmm.
And, she's in a window, I'm in an aisle. And I went to the best, I went to the worst seat that was sitting next to her and said, hey, you know what? Would you please trade with me because, I want to sit next to my daughter and you can have a better seat. It's an aisle seat and it's not up against the bulkhead.
I have an interesting question. What's this person?
It was a 45-year-old woman, businesswoman. She said no.
Did you have your tats showing your sleeves?
No. No. But I had bigger diamond earrings than her, and I think that pissed her off. So basically, she said no, and I said okay. So I went to the guy back here, and he said no.
What?
And you know what? And then I told the flight attendants, and finally, you know what? I just got up and walked in the middle of first class, and I said, will somebody change a seat with me because I want to sit next to my kid. Is anyone here? Give me the time of day. And this old couple who've been together, they moved for me.
Yeah.
Wow, and they were a couple.
They were a couple. They've been together for 30 years. And they were not, it wasn't like they were, oh, God, I want to be away from this person. They were just like...
They split up on your behalf.
Yeah. And they had never had kids, and there were parents there that wouldn't do it, and it just made no sense. I was giving them a better seat.
I find that despicable.
I find that bizarre. I've been on...
I was mad.
I've been on planes where I will, ask, are you sitting again? I don't care how crappy a seat I'm going into. Kids got to sit with their parents.
Absolutely. It's just something to do. If someone came up to me and said that, it wouldn't even be a second thought. I'd be like, absolutely, okay.
Where they told me to sit.
Yeah, it's a kid. It's for another parent, for someone to sit next to their wife or something. If
that I would do.
But if they're giving me the equal kind of seat, then I'd do it. But for a kid, I'd do anything.
Yeah.
Yes, for me, it's if you're breaking even, you got a chance to look like a hero. Why not do it?
Do the good deed. Why not?
All right, when we come back, Art Alexakis sings Hell's for Children while I simultaneously sing the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald after this.
Oh, yeah, butt it out. LoveLine will be right back.
everybody. It's LoveLine. Welcome to hour number 2 of the best of LoveLine. I'm Adam Carolla. That's my partner.
Hey, I'm Dr. Drew.
Dr. Drew. All right, so in the second hour, we have Tony Hawk and Patrick Fugit from Almost Famous, Jeremy Piven, who's been in every goddamn movie ever made, and our good close buddies Everclear. Let's get it started with Tony Hawk.
Donna.
Hi, thank you for taking my call. I just wanted to know, is there something wrong with, like a vibe I'm putting out to attract, like, the wrong guys? Because I seem like I always attract, like, the wrong guys where, like, they end up breaking up with me or cheating on me or, like, and it only lasts for,
that's not attracting the wrong guys. That's going out with the wrong guys.
I mean, am I doing something to get the wrong guys? Like, I always seem to get the guys with a bad past and who are always in trouble or...
Why do you go out with those guys? Just because you attract them doesn't mean you have to go out with them.
I know. It's just I can't seem to find anybody who's, like, normal.
Well, because you're always going out with the bad guys.
I don't know.
Well, you're not attracted to the guys who live in the slow lane, like me and Drew. Actually, we've pulled over to the shoulder of life.
Yeah, oh, my God.
Not even on the freeway. But, I mean, you wouldn't be attracted to the guy who studied hard and got good grades and didn't get into trouble and all that stuff, right?
Well, it depends. I mean...
That's a no.
No. Well, you're cute, right?
Yeah, I think I am.
And guys are interested in you.
Yeah, it just seems like I always the wrong ones are. It's
well,
like
you're attracted to the sort of bad boy types, right?
Yeah, and I don't know why. I just seem to be.
But you can't be surprised when the bad boy types end up being bad boys, can you?
No, not
right. You're not going to change them. It just doesn't happen that way, ever.
And I had another question. I was smoking like about a pound a day with like a day with like friends, not just by myself, and like of weed. And then
hold on. You can't smoke a pound a day.
Not by myself, with like friends, like almost like every day.
A pound?
Yeah. And
with like
2 months later, and like 2 months later.
Hold on a second. I mean, she was smoking a pound a day, but she was with 185 heshers,
right.
Or was she with 5 people?
The entire island of Jamaica shared with her that pound.
A pound is a ton of weed.
Yeah.
I mean, who's purchasing that?
How much is a pound of weed? I mean, a quarter ounce, a half an ounce is like $100 or $120 or something like that. I mean, it's a lot. Drew, how much? Seriously. Wait a minute, Donna. Do you really? How do you know it's a pound of weed?
I don't know. Like everybody says it is, so I guess you just go by looking at it.
Who buys it?
Judge by that.
Pound of weed is like a pillowcase full of weed.
I usually got it around 400, and like all of us would pitch in. It was like a big group of us, and I was
$400 a day. Where'd you come up with?
No. 400 is like a couple of ounces, isn't it?
Well, I got it cheaper because first we had connections. It was like a big group of us, and we all pitched in.
Costco discount.
Yeah.
But every day they would spend $400.
About
crazy.
About roughly, not really.
How many friends?
Like about 17 people.
Every day, 17 people would chip in
$20
or $25 or something, and get a pound of weed, and then you guys would smoke it out of an 8-foot hookah pipe with 75. Well, no, it was 75 carbs on it, right?
No.
Okay, so it just sounds like a lot of trouble.
And I started feeling depressed after that. Like after I quit, I've been sober for like 2 months now.
Right.
And because I've gotten in a lot of trouble, so I've been staying clean. And I was wondering, does it cause depression? Like
absolutely. Characteristically, it does that. You need to look into this, Donna. You got a lot of stuff going on. You're 16. Got addicted to pot. You're having a depression from the biological injury of the pot. You're hanging out with guys that are a pain in the ass and hurting you. Why don't you look into things? You know?
All right.
Yeah.
All right, good times there,
Thank
man.
you. Bye.
I can just see the 16 people that have been left behind by Donna confused. We're 25 short. Now, who didn't put in? We got to buy a pound of weed every day. Could that story, I know she wasn't lying, but could it have been even close to true the way she was explaining it?
Didn't seem like it. But it's another one of the callers where it's the weird energy night.
How dare you.
Joey.
Joey?
Yeah?
You're 13.
Yeah. Okay, I bought some weed the other day.
Well, what?
Whoa.
Weed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Joey.
Mm-hmm.
What?
A pound?
What?
You buy a pound of weed?
No, I didn't have that much money.
How much weed did you buy?
I bought a dime bag.
Dime bag.
Yeah, we thought it was just going to be regular, but the guy, I don't know if he, like, messed up or doing us a favor or something like that.
Yeah.
He gave us some chronic.
Yeah.
And that's, like, me and my friend, we only smoked, like, 2 bowls of it. We made, like, this bong thing. It's pretty cool, but...
Oh, no! Dime bag, by the way, a dime bag nowadays, I mean, dime bag used to be a decent amount of weed, but now I think a guy just blows smoke into a baggie and gives it to you. Is that about $10 worth of chronic these days?
No, a dime bag worth of chronic is $20. But
well, hold on. How can a dime bag?
New math.
Dime bag can't be $20, can it?
Dude, of chronic it is, dude. That's bad.
Oh, Joey.
Joey's, you know what Joey ought to do right now? I know Joey is only in like the 7th grade, but he should just go right to junior college right now. Well, forget all about the 8th and the 9th grade and high school. Just forgo all that. You're going to end up at junior college. Just go there. Shouldn't there be an early... No, he'll end up there.
He's not even going to make it to high school.
Well, maybe you're right.
He is
but again, another argument to go straight to junior college, Drew. Yeah. All right, let me talk to him. Listen. Joey.
And I'm sorry about that.
No swearing on the air.
I'm sorry.
Excuse my language.
All right, so you're saying a dime bag's $20?
Yeah, of chronic. But regular, the Mexican stuff.
Right.
That's only like $10, yeah.
Right.
But I was wondering
I was praying you would say 15. All right, now, listen, Hesher. How long you been smoking pot? You're 13.
Well, 2 years.
2 years.
That's 11. Did you see Robert Downey Jr. and what his life has become?
Who's that?
All right, Drew, this is going to be
Who's Robert Downey Jr.?
You know Yogi Bear? Yogi the Bear?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
You'll turn into him.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll be eating them picnic baskets all day and avoiding the ranger. I don't know who he knows. You know Tony Hawk, right?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, Tony Hawk says...
Can I talk to him?
Yeah, he says don't smoke weed.
Okay.
Well, here, he'll tell you.
No, don't.
Go ahead, Tony.
You've been smoking weed since you're 11? About. That's just...
I'm turning 14 tomorrow.
That's so hard to fathom.
I said, Tony, tell him not to smoke weed. He looks up to
quit. Quit smoking it.
At your age, Joey, it's overwhelmingly clear that it hurts the brain, it hurts development, and it makes you dependent on these things in order to manage basically life. And it's something a cycle you just don't get out of. Robert Downey Jr., if you remember, I mentioned him, but he started when he was 9.
He doesn't know him, Drew.
I know, but other people do.
As they say, out the gate by 8, in the spoon by noon, back again by 10.
That's Robert Downey Jr.
Okay, well, I didn't realize I haven't been like smoking constantly since I was 11. It's been like, well, since my parents caught me. I started smoking then, and then I stopped for like a few months, like 6 months, something like that. Then I started back up again.
All right, well, stop.
It's only going to get worse.
I've only been doing it like every other weekend. So.
All right, well, just slow it down.
Those dime bags are going to start getting to be $100, $200.
That's right. We have a $1,000 dime bag. I remember when dime bags were 50 cents. Drew, remember those days?
Yeah, well, 75 anyway.
All right, so, Julia?
Yeah?
Yeah?
Oh, sorry. Hi.
What's happening?
I just wanted to talk to Patrick Fugit because I have an absolute passionate... I love him.
Yeah, he's hot.
She's a passionate woman.
All right. Here he is.
You're gay.
Here he is.
Hi. Oh, my. Okay. I wanted to call and tell you that I think that you're wonderful and you're delightful and almost say this is the greatest movie in the entire world after the Rocky Horror Picture Show. And every time I just watch you, you make me smile. And not many people in movies can do that. And I just think that you have an amazing presence. And that's really great.
Thanks.
And, the woman on the phone said that I had to ask you a question, so I just thought up really quick. How did you get the part?
1999, I suppose. In the beginning of the year, they sent out a big nationwide casting call, and I used to have an agency in Salt Lake City where I live now, and I just sent in an audition tape, and I guess they liked it.
Oh, crazy.
And what have you done before that? I mean, you've done some work before that, right?
There's this show called Touched by an Angel that shoots in Salt Lake City, and I've been on that like 3 or 4 times.
That shoots in Salt Lake City?
Oh, yeah.
No idea. So, but that was it. I mean, no feature experience.
No, nothing.
Wow.
Up until that point.
I'll tell you, it was that part was just made for you, or you were made for that part, or I don't know how it worked, but it just worked.
You so were.
Yeah. He's dreamy, Julia.
No, well, it's just, my heart is racing. This is absolutely...
That's the kind of guy you girls should be liking.
Yeah.
You understand? Yeah, that's right. Not the bad boys. Good boys.
Okay.
All right, baby.
Thanks a lot.
George?
Yeah?
You're 14?
Yeah.
What's up?
I have a question for Tony Hawk.
Here he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, what kept you going all those years of skating?
What kept me going?
Yeah.
Learning new stuff. That's what kept me going. Just always knowing that there's something new to do. There's something new to try. And that's still the case. I just don't learn them as quickly as I used to.
Also, the 90% caffeine and the 10% MDMA.
Actually, staying away from that really helped me
the
to
money
keep going.
got him going, too.
No, definitely not the money,
not
because I skated through the deadest of times.
Really?
Yeah. That's the thing. You know, when I was a kid, people... To be a pro skater, to dream of being a pro skater, there was no financial gain of that. You know, the pro skaters were the ones that were working at skate shops.
They're no role model for you.
Yeah, it was just a title you held.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, nowadays, kids look at skating and they say, oh, I could be a pro skater, I could make money, I could have a career.
Yeah.
There was no career choice.
Well, I mean, you got, like, free junk.
You got free junk. If you won a contest, you won $150.
Sounds like pretty good money. I mean,
and that means you maybe have to travel to Texas to get that.
Oh, really?
On your own expense.
You end up spending
you could buy 7.5 dime bags with that money.
Or one. Depends on
depending on how good it is. Right. George?
Yeah?
You got to keep them dreams alive, buddy.
All right.
You want to be a skater?
Yeah.
Yeah, just keep challenging yourself, you know. Don't worry about where you stand, where you compare to everyone else. Just keep trying to keep it interesting for yourself.
All right.
That's right. Listen. I got to give this message out to all the kids, like the commercials, you know, like the tennis shoe commercials. See, the battle goes on within yourself, man. You know what I'm saying? You're your greatest competition. That's the only thing you have to worry about until you get your ass kicked by someone else in competition. Thank you.
All right.
Go ahead there, George.
Yeah. About the weed crap.
Yeah, the weed.
Actually, they have the bags are a little bit smaller now. They get smaller because, it's hard to get.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bags are smaller.
Inflation?
So, okay, so
they're going to be going to $30.
30. The dimes 30. Are going to 30s now.
Yeah.
All right there, buddy. And remember, you can't smoke the weed. And Tony said it very well during the commercial break. You can't skate and smoke out of a bong at the same time.
No, I don't smoke it, but...
He said you have to get off the skateboard, get high, and then get back on. But you can't do it at the same time. All right.
Oops. He hung up on you, dude.
Hey, Adam.
Heard enough preaching, yeah.
If my kids start talking badass when they're 13 or 14, put a bullet in my head.
Okay. I may do it anyway, just to play it safe.
All right.
Yeah, and Drew, as a parent, you're going to notice when your kid turns into Spicoli at 13, right?
When they get dreadlocks and become hashers?
Like when your kids start calling you dude instead of dad?
Yeah, maybe you're so clueless you just think that's what's cool now.
No.
It's growing up suddenly.
No. Drew's not going to go in for any of that.
No way.
Drew, every one of your kids is going to have 2 eating disorders. Is that possible? Can you have 2?
Each of them.
Yeah, each of them have 2. There'll be 6 between the 3 kids. We will take ourselves a little break, and we'll be right back after this.
LoveLine will be right back, so get your problems ready. LoveLine with Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew, live 105.
Hey, yo, LoveLine. I'm Adam. That's Drew. Phone number 1-800-LOVE-191. Jeremy Piven is our guest tonight. Jeremy is the most popular actor in show business, and I'm just looking at his credits here. But I was just a couple of things, and like I said, Jeremy and my path have crossed a few times, although we never really knew. We were talking about doing Judgment Night, right, where I was a stand-in, and we never really saw each other, though I knew he was on it, but he didn't know I was on it. Also, the Man Show was originally going to be on ABC, and the show that replaced it was Cupid.
Oh, interesting.
Remember I put a curse on the show?
Yes.
Sorry, Jeremy. I
thanks
put a
for that
curse on the
by
show.
the way.
Yeah.
No, good looking out. I like.
You're a movie actor. You don't need to do this crappy series. But Cupid, we were like just on the schedule. The Man Show was on ABC.
Do you know
believe it or not?
Do you know what time slot they would have given you? 10:30 Saturday night. What do you think your demographic is at home at 10:30?
By the way,
if they are, they're passed out.
They're passed out. They're half a pony keg into it.
Think how many milliseconds Man Show would have lasted. How much time they would have given it to develop, right?
I remember when Jamie Tarsus, who was running the network at the time, told me that she had given me the 10:30. So they saw the pilot, loved it so much, just wanted to put it on the air, but didn't think what time. So we were up against Chuck Norris, which has ruled Saturday night for the past 7 years.
Walker, Texas Ranger.
He's 63. He's got a red beard, and people need it. Apparently,
it's still on the air.
It won't ever stop.
That's crazy.
Bob Hope and Chuck Norris won't ever stop. Just know it. Own that.
I know, but it's crazy. It's crazy in that there are those series that have been on. They're in their 9th year, and people don't even know they're on.
No.
But they just fall. See, my theory is they're not even open. The network doesn't know they're on, so each year they don't know to cut them. It was that way with, what was that Suzanne Summers step-by-step thing? Suzanne Summers had that sitcom that was on Friday night, like on TGI Friday on ABC.
No one knows she was on
for
TV
9
after
years.
Three's Company.
And you could just slide under the radar.
Well, I mean, maybe you guys can answer this for me. In this age right now where, technology is light years ahead of our evolution, and the Nielsen ratings, they put these pamphlets in 1,500 homes across the United States, and you have to fill them out by hand and then turn them in. Is that the best way to do it when they can go on a computer and tell you every penny you've spent and every phone call you've made?
No,
Isn't there a better way?
They've actually changed, so they monitor they have boxes.
No, they don't, man, because they sent this year.
Well, they also have questionnaires, but they do both. They do both.
Oh, it's crazy.
They do both.
Yeah, they have, and radio's even worse.
Radio's worse.
They have Arbitron, which has the word arbitrary just right in it. And radio's great because they're like, you get called in the GM's office. He's like, good news, fellas, you're number 1. And then, 3 weeks later, bad news. You guys are a little bit lower than last. If you moved up a notch, you'd be second to last. It's like, geez, how do you go from number 1, 18 to 24, and time spent listening? 3 weeks later, you're in last place, and the next week you're number 1, and then you drop down again. It is kind of all over the place. But I guess, I think the rationale is it's all over the place for everybody, so it must all even out somehow.
But you guys are survivors, as am I, and that's why we're here right now.
That's right.
We are the underdog. The three of us are representing the underdogs in this country.
Mark, you're 21. What's up?
How you doing, guys?
Good.
Hey, first of all, I just want to say I really love the show. I listen all the time. You guys are hilarious.
Thanks.
I have this problem. See, I was dating this girl for about 2.5 years, right? And, I really love the girl, and we were planning on getting married and all that good stuff. And then I was planning on going on this mission for my church, right?
LDS.
Right. And she said she was going to wait for me or whatever.
You're calling from Baltimore?
Yeah.
We're used to a lot of Salt Lake City calls like this.
I'm originally from Salt Lake City.
Shocking.
There we go.
Things always make sense.
But anyway, so she said she was going to wait for me, and I told her whatever, if you can date other guys, or I didn't want to be a jerk.
Is she also of your faith? Okay.
Yeah. And so she's dating this one guy who I kind of knew from high school, and he's just a real jerk. I mean, he former drug user, former drinker. He's one of those guys who just kind of plays with women, gets what he wants, and then ditches them.
Pretty much every woman goes through a phase where that's attractive.
And pretty much every ex-boyfriend thinks that of the new guy.
but it's not necessary. It doesn't necessarily mean there's something wrong with her that she'd be attracted to that.
Yeah. Well, I just want to know what I could do to get this jerk kind of out of her life.
Oh, she's still with him?
Yeah. I'm going home in a couple of days.
Well, but she's into this jerk, right?
Sort of. She says she's into me still. She still loves me, but she's sort of into this guy still.
She's confused. All right. Well,
wait a minute.
No, let's take the jerkness out of it and just say he told her to date. She got involved with someone while he was on a mission. Now he's coming home. How does he win her back? Right. Which is really what he's asking.
Where'd you go on your mission, by the way?
I'm still in Baltimore.
Go to Baltimore on a mission?
He pulled the short straw.
I thought you were supposed to go to Biafra or something. What are you doing in Baltimore?
I got shafted, man.
Jesus, that sucks. You're riding a bike through Baltimore?
Yeah.
Did they let you guys drive cars, or do you have to ride everywhere on a bike?
Oh, everywhere on a bike.
You know what? Baltimore is one of these cities that has a bad PR rap. It's a beautiful city.
I know, but what do you do, like, during the winter? You, like, put chains on your bike, or what do you do?
We get some really heavy-duty locks, lock them to street.
No, I mean... I didn't mean chains.
I got you. We usually just walk.
I see. All right. What are you doing? You going door to door and spreading the good news?
A little bit of that, a little bit of helping out because the church isn't very strong in Baltimore.
Right.
As you probably guessed.
Let me ask you a question. This is Jeremy Piven talking. I'm a guest on the show.
How you doing?
I just want to check. Good, man.
Also, Serendipity on DVD.
Yeah, he has some Cinnabons
Thanks
for you.
for saying the show, Jeremy. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Now, I got a question because I am Jewish. I was bar mitzvahed. My heritage, my grandparents are from Russia, so I'm an Eastern European Jew. If you came to my door, would you still want to talk to me? What would the conversation be, out of curiosity?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's cool to talk to people of other faiths, first of all. I mean...
But how long does it take you to get to seeing Hell Jaime? I mean, how long does it take you to get... That's the last thing on the little laminate cheat sheet, right?
Yeah. Usually when they let the dogs out and they...
I look at... You know what? I'm not...
Are we a gutter religion? Just tell me that.
What's that?
Is the Jewish faith, is that a gutter religion?
What do you mean by gutter?
Bad religion.
Oh.
No?
Not at all.
No?
My sister married a Jew.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, yeah. She got completely out of the family now.
Yeah, she's the only one living in a house, so.
But here's my question about now: is there indeed only one God, and any God that any other faith prays to is not a valid God? Out of curiosity.
No. I mean, almost everybody believes in a supreme being, even though they may call him, by different names.
Right.
But we believe that there's one God, and he's our creator.
And do you believe that Jesus came back and he's like the Messiah, and the Jews are still waiting for the Messiah to come back? Is that how it goes?
Well, we believe that he came back and that he was the savior of the world, and the Jews, I mean,
they killed him. That's right.
I mean, don't
listen. I blame the Jews too, but more for the industry stuff that's gone wrong. Not so much about killing Jesus. As an atheist, I have my own reasons for hating the Jews, but here's all right. But
Mark winning back his girlfriend. That's what he called about.
That's right.
How does he win back his girlfriend?
I think the harder the harder play you make towards her and towards getting him away from her, I think in a weird way, the worse off you're going to be. And I don't think anyone's going to agree with me on this one.
No, I think that's a reasonable.
Bad.
Yeah, it's a reasonable point of view. I think though, would you guys agree though that he make a very strong maneuver, like really, get the flowers, lay it on the line, and then back off. Once you've been really present yourself,
but
your feelings.
Is he going back there for good, or is he going back to try to win her back?
I'm going back for good.
You're going back for good?
Yeah.
All right. You're going to have to make a power play here.
I'd make a power play and then out. Do not keep at her. The more you pound on her, the more, I agree with Jeremy, she's going to kind of... But women like to know that you...
They want to see you put a little effort in there.
They want to see a piece of you invested in this. And I think you're up to that.
So what do you mean by a piece of me?
Well, what we mean is don't... at noon on a Tuesday, sit her down and start crying about what a bad boy he is.
Yeah, and how upset you are and stuff.
And leave him out of this.
All right.
Forget about him. You tell her about you and why she needs to be with you. And when you pull up on that bike, I want you to do it with attitude.
How do you feel about her?
Don't use the kickstand. Just throw it right down on the lawn.
Bring some flowers. Make something with your own hands. Bring that in.
Yeah. And they like effort. Picnic.
Picnic.
Yes. You understand?
Yeah.
So they got a little romantic picnic plan for her. And don't even bring up the other guy.
Have some clarity, and if something extraordinary happens in front of her, that's always a good plus, too.
Mm-hmm.
You might want to just save her life if that's possible.
Yeah,
set that up with your
just have some stroller roll in front of a UPS truck, and you dive in front and knock it away, all right?
All right.
Is there any way to win the lottery, or how does that work?
Yeah, you can do that, too. And you turn around and you go, bitch, I got nothing to do with God. That was all Mark. That was God, Mark. There's your Messiah.
Good luck.
Bill?
Yes.
You're 26.
Yes.
What's up?
How you doing, guys?
Good.
Jeremy, why aren't you in more movies?
Yeah.
There isn't enough seconds in the day, but I would like to be something other than the best friend.
You need a new agent, Jeremy.
You think so?
Yes.
It's time you move down to the friend of the best friend. I agree.
He's thinking about it.
A more central friend.
Yeah, you need to slide down.
Well, listen.
No, you need the lead role. That's right. That's what I'm saying.
Adam said something nice.
That's right.
Interesting.
Nice.
Oh, I'm a big fan, please.
Well, let me cut to the chase.
Yeah, you got it, man.
I work in entertainment here in big city, Los Angeles.
Oh, that could mean anything.
Yeah, fun stuff. Anyways, my boss, she's 33, got just a fantastic rack, and she's married, and I've had this gigantic crush on her for like 2.5 years.
Huh.
And
how's her marriage going?
Some would say good, others would say bad. If you listen to her on the phone, you'd say bad.
All right. What do you do for her?
What would I like to do for her?
What is your relationship with her? Yeah,
professional.
Well, she and I are both managers of a place in town.
Did you work with her or for her?
It's a little of both. I work for her and then I work with her.
You're going to have to be clearer with us. We need to understand what this
Are you her assistant and you're about to make a move? Is that what's up?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
And by the way, has anyone ever agreed to that? Like when you go, what do you do for a living? What would I like to be doing for a living? No, what do you do for a living? Has anyone said, yeah, what would you like? Well, I'd like to be a DJ at a strip club on the moon.
Here's what you do, man. Masturbate and then think about this problem.
Yeah.
I've been doing that for like 2 years.
Yeah,
listen, man, there are so many women with beautiful bodies. Your boss is the last card you want to play, bro.
Your married boss.
Your married boss. It's all wrong. Just say no. Turn back.
Show her you appreciate it, folks.
You've met Colonel Kurtz. Turn back. Go back up the river.
Jacqueline, stage 4. Jacqueline, stage 4. Love something. Hey, but love sample, gobble, bubbles, sample, gobble, stage. I love that. Hey, guys, show me appreciate it. Brittany, Bitty bottles of champagne, $26.50. Double bucks of funny money. Wednesday nights, a businessman's lunch. You come on out between 2 and 4. Brandon, come to stage 5. That's all I hear in this strip. One day I'm gonna walk over with a shotgun. I'm gonna take the mic. I'm gonna put the shotgun under the guy's shit. I'm gonna blow his head off, and the entire place will erupt in cheers. Cheers! I'll be hailed as a hero, and then I'll turn back, turn up, girls, girls, girls. We'll all walk back. This guy, it's like part carnival barker, part air traffic controller. You know, it's like, hey guys, show me the bridge coming out. Brady coming to stage 4. So it's like he's guiding traffic out there.
1-3000.
Yeah, just Brandy 149er southbound, 89 south of the Midwest. Come to stage, got to bridge funny money. ATMs all over the $5 charge. Put it on your Storage credit card.
Storage credit card?
Yeah, scores credit cards. Yeah. Oh, that's great. Going to the VIP room. I draw the boys. Show you the bitch. Mark?
Yeah.
You're 18?
Yep.
You've been on hold for 1 hour. 113 minutes.
Yeah.
Wow, man. You must dig these guys. You like listening to them, huh?
Yeah, I love you guys.
Cool.
Great.
There you go.
He's hitting that bong a little bit tonight, too, I think. See what I'm saying?
No way.
Well, way to hear it. He can hear it right away, man.
How much weed you smoking, Mark?
I don't smoke right now. I've been clean for over a year.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Still got a hold on you, man.
Yeah, you need like an animal with a fire hose because you still got a lot of THC floating around your body.
Absolutely.
Did you do mushrooms tonight or something? What happened here?
One of my favorite movies is Dazed and Confused.
Yeah, get that.
LIVIN.
All right, there, Mark.
That's McConaughey's one of his best roles ever.
Yeah, I thought he was great. But, all right, we're just going off tonight on different things. But real quick, Matthew McConaughey he was such the perfect role because he was the guy who was 1 year out of high school and still hanging around and had the job with the phone department, so he had his own ride. He was driving like a Barracuda or Challenger or something and was big fish in a small pond. And we always remember that one dude. He was on the football team. He wasn't the star of the football team. He just played some ball. You figured he could kick your ass because he was a year older than you were, and he had a car. And you didn't want to mess with him, but he was like the king of the misfits. And
he had the mullet. He had the mustache.
Yeah, he was just perfect.
And he just kept getting older, and the girls keep getting younger.
Yeah, he was perfect. Wow.
Mark. Come on, you must be high.
No, I'm not, seriously.
Really?
Good.
All right, so what's the question?
First of all, I just remembered one real quick. Adam.
No, listen here, goofball. You've been on hold for 113 minutes to ask this question. All you're doing is giggling and waxing poetic about Dazed and Confused. Now, ask your goddamn question.
Okay, there's this girl that I know, and she's really into drinking and smoking herb, and she's done a lot of other stuff too, like dropped acid and everything, and I feel that...
Your soulmate.
Right. If I like, this is actually with anybody, but with her, just whatever. If I just like turn away from people, I get the feeling like I'm giving up on them, and I don't like to do that to people.
All right, fair enough.
You're into her, right?
Yeah, okay. I went to school with her last year, and then I got sent away in placements and everything, and so now I'm back and everything, and I'm knowing her again.
Was she into you?
It's kind of hard to tell because
she's not into you like you're into her.
Right.
No.
She's into you like a friend, and you're into her like a girlfriend.
Well, that's kind of hard to tell.
No, you're into her.
Yeah, you want
to... that
right.
I am.
But she's so loaded, who knows what she's up to right now. So what...
But he would know if she was into him.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, but he's not doing drugs, so she's probably not, you know what I'm saying? She won't be interested
I'm just worried that he's trying to save her because he's interested in her, and she may ultimately not be interested in him.
I understand that, but are you in recovery?
Yeah.
You're in a program?
Yeah, I go to AA.
All right, why don't you take her to some meetings? Just as a friend. Just say, come to some meetings with me. And encourage her to get a sponsor, and just see where that goes. And don't 13-step her, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But bring her in, if she gets sober, clears up a little bit.
Take her to one with some really funny guys that get up there and, tell it like it is, are really interesting, and she's going to find it fascinating somehow.
Yeah.
All
right, Mark?
That's about all you can do. You can't change her. And in fact, the only thing that will change her in relationships is losing relationships. Not by people stepping in and trying to change her.
But also, don't turn her into a project. I know he's been pining for this chick for a few years now. He went off, came back. He's still pining for her. She's getting effed up. He's going to pick up the pieces. She may not be interested in him that way. I guess she isn't.
Men just wait in the brush.
That's right.
Like some kind of polar bear or lion waiting to pounce.
Right, yeah.
First hint of weakness, pow, they're in.
Yeah, and also, we sort of create these fantasies. We get fixated on women like we do with cars. Like one day, I'm going to have an LT1 69 Vet. I'm going to have that car. Yeah. And years go by, and jobs go by, and relationships go by, and you're still fixated on one day. Meanwhile, your life is just blowing by. Yep. And if you'd spent as much time on your own life getting your own crap together as you'd spent fixating on this one chick, this one car, this one whatever, this one goal, you'd be much further along, and you'd have 5 of those. 5 LT1 vets and 5 chicks in the garage inside the vets, and all greased up and on the hood, like what's her name from that White Snake video. Yeah, that's hot. Yeah. All right, we're going to take a quick break.
Okay, so I know there's nothing wrong with me. So what's up?
Well, I was like you, and I used to think that these Datelines were totally cheesy.
Why can't I meet anybody?
But I tried everything else and thought, what the hell? So I called the Dateline and actually met a cool guy.
I called the Dateline and I hooked up with some cool people.
Believe it or not, other normal people are out there looking too.
877-889-DATE.
LoveLine.
1-800-LOVE-191.
We'll be right back. LoveLine. LoveLine. With Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew. Call LoveLine. 1-800-LOVE-191. Live 105.
Hi, everybody. This is Art from Everclear, and you're listening to LoveLine with Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew.
Art Alexakis is our guest tonight. Art is from Everclear, of course. Go to the website, which is
EverclearOnline.com. We couldn't have Everclear.com because a plumber took it and he wouldn't give it back.
Well, did he want to sell it to you?
Nope.
Oh, he just didn't want to get rid of it.
Nope.
Really?
Yep.
I mean, he didn't do it to sell it back to you later?
Nope.
You know what you should have done if you're really smart? He would have let all the traffic that you get just have his stuff piggyback on yours.
Really? Is your Everclear fan?
Yeah.
Let this guy come
and you need some plumbing.
Root out your toilet, whatever.
Oh, was Everclear the name of his plumbing business?
No.
Something? Well, what was it then?
I don't know. He wasn't even a fan. He just thought...
How dare he?
Well, no, it's not even that. I don't care if he's a fan.
The pipes are Everclear.
It just doesn't
keeps the
make
lines
sense.
Everclear.
Yeah. Okay. He couldn't articulate that like that. We were after this guy forever.
Really?
Yeah.
People drive me crazy. One of the most despicable human qualities is when you go, hey, listen, you have a good reason, you need somebody to change or move or change their parking place or move their chair, and they go, just no. Why? Just because you asked, it's no.
Right, because I can say no.
Yeah.
And then what?
These are people who have no empowerment in their life,
right?
And this is what empowers them to be able to spit in the wind and just say no to the big guy, and that's fine.
Not even a big guy. It's like if you wanted this guy to move his chair out of the way so you could wheel your grandmother past, you know what I mean? In a wheelchair, it'd be no.
I mean, Drew and I were.
That's when I start swinging.
Where was this?
We were on a plane.
Oh, this was a good one.
We're flying back from some college gig, and the plane was pretty much full. I was sitting alone, 10 rows back of Drew. Drew was sitting alone 10 rows back of me, and I was sitting next to a guy it was just 2 seats, and I said to the guy before the plane took off, excuse me, sir, my partner's sitting about 10 rows back. Could you switch seats with him? Would that be okay? And he said, no. And I had 2 thoughts. First one is I didn't even know if he understood the question.
It was before no way he could have processed. It was no so quick.
Yeah, I thought he said, can I perform dry anal rape on you or something? So I said, no, he's sitting alone in the back, and if you guys just swap seats, then you can just sit alone. And he said, no. And my impression was, so you're going to sit next to me, who's pissed off at you, the entire flight.
As opposed to getting open seats in the back that are better.
Right.
So that lots of room.
That was no for the sake of no.
Remember that? And he wouldn't look at you. Remember, as soon as you looked up, he was like, no.
Right.
You want to hear a better one?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm flying to Hawaii with my daughter to meet up with my wife. Flying to Hawaii after last summer. Okay. We have first class tickets. Supposedly, our travel agent. Now we bought these. My travel agent was supposed to get us to sit together. Of course. I've got an 8-year-old girl at the time, right? I get in there, and our seats aren't together. They're like 3 rows apart.
Mm-hmm.
And, she's in a window, I'm in an aisle. And I went to the best, I went to the worst seat that was sitting next to her and said, hey, you know what? Would you please trade with me because... I want to sit next to my daughter, and you can have a better seat. It's an aisle seat, and it's not up against the bulkhead.
I have an interesting question. What's this person?
It was a 45-year-old businesswoman, she said no.
Did you have your tats show on your sleeves?
No. But I had bigger diamond earrings than her, and I think that pissed her off. So basically, she said no, and I said okay. So I went to the guy back here, and he said no.
What?
And you know what? And then I told the flight attendants, and finally, you know what? I just got up and walked in the middle of first class, and I said, will somebody change a seat with me because I want to sit next to my kid. Is anyone here? Give me the time of day. And this old couple who've been together, they moved for me.
Yeah.
Wow, and they were a couple.
They were a couple. They've been together for 30 years. And they were not, it wasn't like they were, oh, God, I want to be away from this person. They were just like...
They split up on your behalf.
Yeah. And they had never had kids, and there were parents there that wouldn't do it, and it just made no sense. I was giving them a better seat.
I find that despicable.
I find that bizarre. I've been on planes.
I was mad.
I've been on planes, but I will, ask, are you sitting again? I don't care how crappy a seat I'm going into. Kids got to sit with their parents.
Absolutely. It's just something to do. If someone came up to me and said that, it wouldn't even be a second thought. I'd be like, absolutely, okay.
Where they told me to sit.
Yeah, it's a kid. It's for another parent, for someone to sit next to their wife or something. If
I would do.
But if they're giving me the equal kind of seat, then I'd do it. But for a kid, I'd do anything.
Yeah. Yes, for me, it's if you're breaking even, you got a chance to look like a hero. Why not do it?
Do the good deed. Why not?
All right, when we come back, Art Alexakis sings Hell's for Children while I simultaneously sing the Wreck of the Edmund Fitz Show after this.
Okay, so I know there's nothing wrong with me. So what's up?
Well, I was like you, and I used to think that these Datelines were totally cheesy.
Why can't I meet anybody?
But I tried everything else and thought, what the hell? So I called the Dateline and actually met a cool guy.
I called the Dateline and I hooked up with some cool people.
Believe it or not, other normal people are out there looking too.
877-889-DATE.
1-800-LOVE-191. We'll be right back. This has been LoveLine. The opinions expressed on this show are not necessarily those of the staff, management, sponsors, or this station. The producer for LoveLine is Ann Wilkins Ingold. LoveLine is a presentation of Westwood One Entertainment.